Moving on.
6?
Sure, let's move on to number 6.
Yes.
Am I doing it? Should I do it? Okay.
You should do it. Yes.
Number 6, autonomous biochemical sensing, wiring biological sensors for real-time insight.
Yeah.
This was another one where I was like,
what is this? Yeah.
Well, and also like, this could go wrong.
I know. And of course, it feels like this connects to the previous one with microbes. But this is sort of now looking at the environment where you have these things out in the environment.
Yep, out there, and then continuously being able to, I was thinking about this too, right? Like you have, I'll even read this first bit here.
Yeah.
Autonomous biochemical sensors, because this one's a little hard to sort of unpack. Are analytical devices that autonomously and continuously detect and quantify specific biochemical parameters. So such as disease markers in patient and individual health management, or chemical changes in soil or water for environmental management. So basically, think the way I was envisioning this, right, is like take just a sensor and make it essentially like microscopic and everywhere.
Right.
And that almost like a hive mind that they're communicating, but that's, you would have this real-time ability, as you were mentioning before, with like the gut thing even, but like putting this in your soil.
And I sort of preempted that with the gut because this is more in line with this one than the
but even still, but like you could see how these things would be working together.
Yes.
Right? Yep. Like, so the therapeutic is something that you in there, and then this is what maybe they're creating is sensors to monitor these kind of things, right?
Yeah.
But this idea, and so, but not just, so if you think about it like this too, I was thinking, and I think they make a mention here of, to put it in perspective, a typical sensor, which you might not think of it as like a COVID-19 test. A lot of people have experience taking the at-home test and things like that. Yep. You're taking a single snapshot of is there a viral load? Is there this thing? And that can only tell you from that moment.
That's right.
What happened 5 minutes later, or whatever. But having this autonomous and continuous monitoring, you could think of. I had this thought where I'm like, so those mornings you wake up and you're like, God, I feel terrible, and you're like, was it because I didn't get enough sleep? Did I have too much to eat or drink? Did I catch something?
Yeah.
I just flew home from wherever. Did I catch a bug? Like in some future state, you might have this capability where you have things warning you, like, hey, we've detected, you've got rhinovirus in your body.
So I'm actually imagining it. This probably goes way beyond where the authors of this particular piece were, but there's been talk for years about interactive tattoos.
Interactive tattoo. I thought you were going to go with the glucose monitoring.
No. That's simple stuff. No. I'm talking about the cool complex stuff where you have a tattoo which is actually a bunch of sensors and a dynamic display
that could reconfigure themselves.
That's right. So you now imagine it's got these biochemical sensors in that are measuring not only what's in your environment but also what's in your body and actually displaying it in real time. So you wake up in the morning feeling as if you've got a hangover even though you didn't go partying, and you look at it and say, this is what happened over the last 10 hours.
Oh yeah. That could be really cool. Or
it could be a little revealing. I'm not quite sure where you put this.
Right. Or I just think it's like someone hacking it and being like, showing like, I knew you were full of it. Your arm tattoo said so.
Or it's when your wife grabs hold of your arm and says, you know what you said about what you were doing last night.
Like, are you reading right now?
Right.
Like, no, I'm checking, I didn't think about that. That could be that's a really cool.
That is the spectrum.
And here I was going with like health things and
but it is really cool. And of course the thing that this pulls out is this is a convergent technology.
Yeah.
It is only possible to begin thinking about doing this in any practical way because of a convergence of biotech and nanotechnology. And they also mention things like biomimetics. How do we actually learn from how nature does things? And then bringing that into the technology.
Yeah, exactly. And then, again, what I love too about this report is, not only does it give you this tech, but it gives you that sort of realistic counterbalance of like, what are the challenges today? Right? I mean, short lifespans of sensors. How do we replace them? How do you do this? But yeah, it's a really fascinating space to be watching because I think that could be a really interesting. And again, I was talking about too, just like glucose monitoring. I mean, if you know someone who wears an on-body glucose monitor, these are, they've come a long way,
but they're still a little bulky.
But they're still bulky. They're still painful. They're still, you still have to deal with these things. And how nice would it be in a future where this is done safely, where you just have these thing. Maybe I guess they need replacing. Maybe you swallow a pill every so often. I don't know.
Yes.
But this idea that you would have this continual evaluation of that. And also just so you can, even if you don't have diabetes, there's a tremendous amount of information of personal datification to understand like what happens to me if I eat this banana. like, how does my body respond
Sure,
to that?
yes,
Because
yes.
you might notice, during the day, I mean, everyone talks about this. Oh, the afternoon slump. Well, what is that? Well,
Right.
you're seeing these crashes in your body.
Maybe you can hack your system by actually gathering
Yeah,
data.
and
Yeah,
or understanding like how I respond to certain foods or
yeah.
certain things compared to, whatever.
And of course, that's personal health, but then you sort of
Yeah.
look at it in terms of population health and the environment. And
Yeah.
because one of the things you can, in principle, do is if you've got these biochemical centers through the environment, you've now got a very easy means of seeing what the health of the environment is or
Yeah.
a population. And this
Yeah.
is, of course, what happened with COVID,
Yep.
where we looked at sort of monitoring sort of waste streams to see sort of where there were hotspots of COVID.
Giant shelf toilets for the whole city.
There we are. No. This is going to take a cultural shift, I feel.
Man. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's
yeah.
move on.
Yes, yes.